Yeah. What do you want to sing now? Avrom, what do you want us to sing? Please. Let's sing Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Becha Rabbeinu Nismecha, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Becha Rabbeinu Nismecha, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Nagila, Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Nagila, Nagila V'nismecha Bach. It's working. מצוין. Becha Rabbeinu Nismecha, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Becha Rabbeinu Nismecha, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Nagila, Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Becha Rabbeinu Nagila, Nagila, Nagila V'nismecha Bach. Mi ייתן יבר כיונה ופציון הקדוש ומנה מי ייתן יבר כיונה ופציון הקדוש ומנה לה 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 אומנה לה 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 Very good, very good. Rabbeinu said that the beginning of happiness is Baruch Shelo Asani Goy, that a man should be happy, that he's a Jew. But I am saying that the beginning of happiness is Mamash, to attach ourselves to Rabbeinu. Rabbi Nachman ben Simcha is the son of happiness, is the source of Simcha. The righteous man is the source of all of good things that we have in our lives. A man can never be happy if he's not connected to real righteous people, holy people that can revive him, that can give him reason to live, to get through all of the difficulties that we always have in our lives. Each and every one of us, mamash, so many difficulties, so many issues, doesn't even know where to start working on ourselves, coming to right decisions, and mamash, we don't know how even to start. If not that the righteous man is standing and cheering us up again and again. One of the friends from our class told me that he heard that shiur that we sang Diaich Sof, the song of Rabbi Aaron Mikarlin, and he enjoyed that song so much that he heard it again and again, and he played it mamash hundreds of times again and again and again, and he learned it by heart, and he mamash was singing it again and again. And you see that one small thing that the tzaddik is doing with us, that he let us sing together, and something like that can give someone so much chizuk in the. You will never even gonna know someone is walking with a song and carrying it, and he's cheering him up and building him and supporting him, and he's walking with it. You can never know what you're doing. It's the power of Rabbeinu HaKadosh. So on all of Torah 31, Rabbi Nathan is explaining and saying, Zot HaTorah, that Torah, ne'emra al pasuk, been said on the verse, Vayasev Elokim, that Hashem Yitbarach, and it's written, Vayasev Elokim means turn away, means turn away his face, but it's written on that, En haseba el haseuda, that actually Hashem was sitting to eat. Vayasev Elokim, if he said, so he said to eat. Hashem is dining. Kedeita b'midrash, like that it's written in the midrash, Hainu b'chinat parnasa, aspect of parnasa, b'chinat baru mazon. You see the aspect when Hashem is eating, so he's influencing parnasa to the world. It's written on Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa that כל העולם כולו לא ניזון אלא בזכות רבי חנינא בן דוסה. All of the world being nurtured, fed by Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. But for Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, it's enough to eat only one cup, small amount of carobs, of charuvim, mishabat leshabat, from one Saturday to the next Saturday. Means also in Saturday. It's written in the Gemara that they didn't have even bread, chalot, for Shabbos. They were eating carobs, charuvim. So I read once an explanation on that it's not a praise at all on Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. To praise him, everyone of eating because of your merit, and you eating only one cup of charuvim, of carobs, it's not a praise at all. Just you should know, Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, that if the world are eating because of your merit, so why you're eating so small amounts, a little bit? You need to eat a lot more, and then you're going to bring a lot more shefa to the world. It was a complaint on Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. The righteous man, while that he's eating, he's bringing bounty to the world. He brings shefa. So you're not allowed to live in poverty, in tzimtzum, eating only this. You're not allowed. You're the pipe that influence to all of Am Yisrael, to all of the world. So you need to live in wealth, in greatness, and with honor, to eat, and by that you're going to bring blessing to all kinds of food, and to say brachot, and to... This is what it's written here on Hashem Yitbarach. V'yasev Elokim, Hashem is dining, means Hashem sits to eat. What it means, that actually it's an aspect of parnasa. He's bringing food to us. And the righteous man is eating. When you're eating, you need to think thoughts about how to, and we need to believe in ourselves. You need to believe that you can bring salvations, that you can bring yeshuot. Like that story that I told you on the woman that was reading Tehillim in the time of the bombing, in the pigua, and she revived the woman. She gave her life. That woman been saved because of her Tehillim. And we all should believe in our own Tehillim, that your Tehillim's got that power, even though that you cannot see results in this world. It's written in Tehillim, Lama v'totzaot, the results are only after 120. But still, we need to believe. So you need to believe that when you're eating, you're pulling shefa to the world. If you're going to make Netilat Yadayim right, so it's going to be holy. And if you're going to think about Hashem Yitbarach while you're eating, all of the ones that connected to you. In your Limud Torah, you need to connect yourself to the souls of your friends and all of your family, and to say to Hashem Yitbarach before of learning, please Hashem, that this learning that we're learning gonna illuminate all of the world, gonna give power to everyone that depends on me, to everyone that connected to me, even though that I don't see myself as a man, a holy man or a righteous man or a worthy man, or I'm just a regular man, but what can I do that you created me to be in a certain place, and there are people that are above me and there are people that are under me? What can I do? It's you made it. It's not my fault that things are coming through me. If you now need to buy a bread and you're going to the grocery store and you buy a bread and you give parnasa to the grocer. You give him parnasa. So what, now you're going to be arrogant? No, you depends on me. No, just this is the way that the world is working. And you give him parnasa and he gives you bread. You cannot live without him. He cannot live without you. So it's also the same. You can be above someone in limud, in learning, but in faith he's better than you. You're better than him in Hitbodedut, and he's better than you in attributes, in midot. He behaves a lot better than you. So you can affect him in something, and he's affecting you in something else, and we're combined, we're together, we're cooperative, we're working together, we depend on each other. So when we're eating, we need to think about giving food to other people. Shu b'chinat bera, that it's an aspect of that field. Bera, that field that we were talking, that the food comes out from outside, kamvar le'el, like that we learned before. וגמר ביאור הפסוק, and the end of the explanation of that verse, על פי התורה הזאת, by that Torah, לא זכינו לקבל. We didn't have the merit to receive from Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu wasn't completing his explanation on founding the Torah on that verse. He wasn't completing that explanation. Just only part of it. עניין מעלת הכיסופין דקדושה, on all of that issue of holy desiring for Hashem Yitbarach, הנזכר לאל, that we mentioned before, בתוך התורה הזאת, in that Torah. So Rabbi Nachman is mentioning that we heard that, something, we heard, but we did heard something. שמעתי מפיו הקדוש תחילה, I heard from his holy mouth before, בביאור יותר, with more explanations, עם עוד כמה חידושים, with more few things that he haven't mentioned, שלא נזכרו כאן כלל, that he haven't mentioned here in the Torah at all. Rabbi Nachman found it important to share with us that information. There is a horrible thing that there is a lot of people that thinks in a lot of Chassiduyot that they're hiding the information from other people. A lot of stories, a lot of tales, people are writing them only in Yiddish, and people are not sharing and not telling. Only if you're from inside the Chassidut, they're gonna tell you the. And it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, and stopping a lot of people from getting closer. Our job is adrabah, to open and to share and to let everyone know. So, what you want to be, the one that you want to be a library. What you want to be? What you want to be? You want to know all of the stories, and that someone else, you need to inherit it. You need to give it to someone else, that they all gonna know it. וכן בעניין האמונה, and also on the issue of faith, ושאר הבחינות שנזכרו כאן, and the other aspects that been mentioned here, שמעתי גם כן מפיו הקדוש תחילה, I heard that from his holy mouth before that he gave that Torah. פסקה פסקה, part by part, בסגנון קצת אחר, a little bit in a different style. על כן העתיקם הנה וזהו. This is why I'm going to write them down here, and this is that. זיווגן והצטרפותן של האותיות, the way that the letters attached each other, הוא על ידי הנקודות, is by the vowels. כי הנקודות, because the vowels, הם החיות והתנועה של האותיות. They are the spirit, the life, and the movement, the ability to move of the letters. ובלי הנקודות, and without those vowels, האותיות הם כגולם. They're just, the letters are just physical, they don't have neshama. ואין בהם שום תנועה, and they don't have no movement in them. ועל כן, and this is why, הנקודות הם בחינת נפש. The vowels are an aspect of the soul, the spirit. כי כמו שהנפש הוא חיות האדם, because like that the soul is the life of the man, וכל תנועה שאדם מתנועע, and every movement that the man is moving, הכל הוא על ידי הנפש, everything is by the soul, ובלתי הנפש, and without the soul, הוא כגולם, is like a physical body, cannot move. כן הנקודות הם החיות והנפש של האותיות. Also the letters, the vowels are the life and the spirit, and the neshama, the soul of the letters. ובלי הנקודות הם כגולם, and without the vowels they're like just physical bodies. ואין להם שום תנועה וחיות, and they cannot move and they're not alive. You cannot read them. You cannot read a letter without a vowel. You cannot. It's not exist. It have to have a vowel. Without a vowel you cannot use it. It's just written. You cannot speak it. You cannot say it. רק על ידי הנקודות הם מתנועעים. They're moving only because by the vowels. ועל ידי הנקודות, and by those vowels, נזדווגין ונצטרפין האותיות. They're attached themselves, they're mating, and they become to be a word, something, the letters. ועיקר התהוות הנפש, and the main way that the soul is become to be, הוא על ידי ההשתוקקות. It's by the desiring, והכיסופין, and the yearning, של איש ישראל אחר השם יתברך, of the Israeli man after Hashem יתברך. When you want, this is like a koach hameshicha, gravity. You're pulling things into your life when you want them to come. When you want to learn Torah, so you're pulling Torah into your life. When you want to have shalom bayit, you're pulling conversations and peace in the house. You're bringing that because of that will. Rabbeinu is taking that to some place, and we're going to read everything, but I don't know why, but Hashem is bringing me to tell you that again and again, that also the nefesh, the soul, and the body of the man, it's also the righteous man and the student, the rabbi and the student. The rabbi, he is the spirit, and he is the mashpia. He is the one that gives you everything that you have, and the student can receive from the rabbi. Without the rabbi, the student is nothing. He cannot learn. He doesn't know nothing. All of what that we're learning here, those are wonderful things that we learned from a Rav. We don't have those things without a Rav. You can learn if you try that. For sure you try that. You sit, open Likutei Moharan alone and read it. You don't understand nothing, even if it's written in English. You don't understand nothing. You're reading it, even with the explanations of rabbis and with Perushim, also Gemara. Sit and learn Gemara. All right. Is it made you a better person? You finished Shas when you were 18. Really, it made you a better person. You worked on your midot. Now it doesn't take you to those places until that you have a married. Some righteous man is waking you up and giving you a neshama. It can be a body that sits and learns Gemara all day long, a body that knows Likutei Moharan by heart, and it's just a physical brain. It's like a computer that contains in its software the Likutei Moharan. It doesn't make the computer to do something with the Likutei Moharan. It just rests inside, and it didn't make nothing with you. You have to have someone that's going to move you, that's going to wake you up, that's going to make you do things. This is the Rav, this is the Neshama, this is the spirit of all of us. And in what it depends, how much nefesh you're going to have in your will. Means the attachment to the Rav, to the ability to receive from him. And it doesn't mean, I remember that once I came to Rav Shalom and I told him, Rav, in those days, I cannot come, I'm not able to come to your house anymore, I'm trying to come, and I'm in the hours, and a lot of times I'm coming and you're not here. And he told me, there are people that coming into my house every day, and they're not my students at all. A student, it's not depends on how many times a week you enters into a Rav's house. Students, and then he said, students are the one that takes my advice and keeping them and following them. Those are the real students. So you can live on the moon and to keep the advice of Rav Shalom. I remember once that Rav Shalom said, my real students are not Avrachim of the Yeshiva Chut Shel Chesed at all. They're not here. It's outsiders, it's people outside. You see, people, for sure it was to humiliate us and to bring us to a healthy place. But you see people outside, they read a book and it changed their life and they start doing Hitbodedut, and you see people that take those things very seriously. Here a lot of people can have interest. They have reasons to be part of the yeshiva, of the community, support, gmachim, to be student of Rav Shalom, all crazy nonsense. But outside it can be a lot of times a lot easier for a man really to commit himself to something. He reads that book and he feels a strong mamash, the illumination, and he likes it and he feels that this is the truth talking to him through that book, and he's keeping the advice, and he's free from all of the how you say tifora, the background of all of what that can be part of yeshiva, of a community, and he's free from all of that, and he's just dedicating his life to the Avodat Hashem, and he's praying and talking to Hashem, and he's going to the fields and doing long Hitbodedut, and he's all alone with Hashem. And so sometimes it all depends in the real will of the man. How much really you want, because Harav, the rabbi, Harav, the mashpia, the righteous man, he's not physical. You can see a body, but he's not physical. He's so spiritual that you can bring him into your house, that you can bring him into your life, mamash, and you're going to see him inside your house. It's a very spiritual thing that is happening. If really you're dedicating yourself, Yosef, when he was in that horrible test, very hard test, with the wife of Potiphar, so suddenly he saw the face of Yaakov Avinu. And the Rav Shalom asked, so if he saw the face of Yaakov Avinu, so there was no test at all. Yaakov Avinu came and saved his son. You see your father and this is it. You cannot sin anymore. If a man comes to sin and suddenly you see a Rav Shalom standing in front of him, he will not going to do that. It's not a test. So what's the praise on Yosef HaTzadik that he was standing in that test? If Yaakov Avinu was saving him. And Rabbeinu is writing that it's a secret how Yaakov Avinu didn't know that he was there, because Yaakov Avinu, when he is appearing, he knows that. You can see it from the Likutei Moharan. Rabbeinu is saying there is a secret how Yaakov didn't know. Actually, Yaakov, he knew. Yaakov, he's supposed to know. When Yaakov is revealing himself, he knows. So when Rav Shalom is revealing himself, he knows. He's coming. And a lot of people said that they saw Rav, and Rav came to me in a dream. It's all true. People, I know someone in the yeshiva that came once to Rav Shalom, and he had a dream that Rav Shalom told him to change his name to a different name. He had a dream, and Rav Shalom in that dream told him few times, 3 or 4 times, to change his name. And then that Avrech came to Rav after he had a dream, and he came to ask Rav if he should change his name, and he didn't told him about the dream. So he told him, Rav, should I change my name to, I don't remember what he told him, Natan. So Rav told him, I already told you to change it to Natan. So for them it's simple. It's simple. So the righteous people, they're doing those things, and for them this is what they're doing. So you need a secret of there is something how Yaakov didn't know that he was revealing himself to Yosef HaTzadik. Something. So actually, what was the test of Yosef HaTzadik? If his father came to stop him, so Rav Shalom explained that how much that the righteous man can reveal himself to you, it depends in the effort that you were putting in your Avodat Hashem before. Yosef HaTzadik was doing so much in Avodat Hashem to connect himself to Yaakov Avinu that he was worthy. He built that vessel that Yaakov gonna come into his life and to save him in time of danger, in time of the test. So it all depends in the effort, how much neshama, how much the rabbi, the neshama, the soul that you're going to have, going to be with you. It all depends in how much you want it to be. When you want something, en davar omed bifnei ratzon. There is nothing that can stop the will from happening. If you want to achieve something, and it can be that you don't believe in yourself, or that you want a lot of things. This is why your will can be very weak. The will of learning Torah, the will of doing tshuva, the will of doing long Hitbodedut, deep tshuva. But if really you want, I remember once I went to do long Hitbodedut outside of the city. And when I went, I text a friend and text message if he wants to come with me to join to the Hitbodedut. So he wrote for me, I'm going to sleep. And I told him, all right, wonderful. And after a while he told me, oh, you're going to, and he's making fun of me, he's happy, he's lying in bed, sending text, I'm walking outside, it's cold, I don't know. And he's texting me, and he's saying to me, wow, you're a righteous man, you're going to the field in the night. So I told him, look, I want to go to sleep. He told me that he wants to go to the field, but he's going to sleep. And then he's texting me that I'm such a righteous man, that I'm going to the field. So I wrote to him, look, what's the difference? Look on the difference between us. I want to go to sleep, and I'm going to the field, and you're going to sleep, and you want to go to the field. So you're better than me because you want to go to the field, and I wish that I could go to sleep, but I have my issues that I have to go to the field. But actually, I want to go to sleep also. I have to go to the field. So he told me, answered, it was a winning answer. It was right. He told me, בדרך שבאדם רוצה ללך מוליכין אותו. In the path that a man wants to walk, they're leading him, they're walking him through that path. A man that wants to go to sleep, he doesn't go to the field in the middle of the night. This is the truth. A man that wants to sleep, he goes to sleep. A man that wants to go to the field, he's going to the field. So, a lot of times we're not going to the fields. A lot of times we're not because we're afraid. We're afraid to be something. We're afraid to succeed. A lot of times we're afraid to succeed. We're afraid to achieve our goals. We're afraid. We don't feel that we deserve. We think, no, I don't have a chance. And by that, you're not letting yourself to try that. To try to do 6 hours, to try to do 3 hours, to try to go to the forest in the middle of the night, to go to the field, to try. You say, nah, it's not for me, I'm too old, I'm too tired, I sinned so many times, I was this, I was angry, and I was this, and all stories. But really, you haven't came to that decision that you want it. When a man really decides, I want it, there is nothing that can stop him, nothing. If you decided that you're going to complete your tshuva process in this lifetime, no matter what, you're going to do that. You're just going to do that. If really you want to work on your horrible attributes, horrible midot, all right, let's agree. You have, I have, we have horrible midot. Wonderful. We're rude, we can lie, we don't care, we're not sensitive, we're selfish, we can be vicious, we can be cruel to people, we're cheap. Oh, wonderful, shefa of nicknames, bounty, 1,000,000 nicknames. You're not allowed to call someone in his nickname, but in your tshuva it's allowed. So, you see that you have all of those. If really you're going to decide that you're working on yourself, for sure it's going to be hard to receive rebukes from the wife, from the friends, from yourself, from the mirror. It's going to be hard. But if really you want, you're gonna. Because when I feel like I don't have that power to keep on dealing with very hard things that I'm going through in my life, and a lot of times I feel close to despair and I want to give up, and always Hashem is helping me to remember that Hashem is not testing the man, never in a test that he cannot pass. There is nothing like it. It's not exist. If Rabbeinu said, "En yush ba'olam klal," there is no despair in the world at all, and he was roaring, he was shouting that, he was screaming, Rabbeinu tza'ak bekol gadol, he was shouting in a huge, strong voice, "En shum yush ba'olam klal," there is no despair in the world at all. Means that really you're going to survive if you're just going to hold on a little bit. And you think that you're falling, you think that it's hard for you, but you don't know. I told you that once, that one of the Avrechim, Reuven, he asked Rav Shalom, how can it be that people outside are doing 1 time 6 hours Hitbodedut and immediately they see miracles in their lives? And we, students of the yeshiva, can do another 6 and another 6 and another 6 and nothing changed. Nothing is happening. How can it be? So Rav Shalom said, for you, I'm fixing you from the roots. I'm still fixing you, עושה לכם טיפול שורש. Someone outside, you're telling him, go do 6 hours Hitbodedut, and he's going, like today, Avrum told us that he's giving that wonderful advice to people to look on things from the positive side, to say to people, look, everything is good, you should say thank you to Hashem, even on the bad things that you have in your life. And he's saying, we see results. Every man that I'm telling him, his life are being changed because of that. And us, that we read Garden of Gratitude, and we're walking with it, and we're going to the fields with it, and we're saying thank you on the good and on the bad, and we're doing long Hitbodedut like that. And it's not affecting on our lives as strong as it affects someone else outside. Why? Not because we're not capable of, because actually each and every one of us he contains a lot more souls and people that attach to you and depends in you. When you're going to be saved, you're not going to be saved alone. You're going to be saved with those 100 or 1,000 people that depends in you. When Hashem going to answer your prayer in that moment, actually He going to answer to the prayers, the salvation going to come to all of the ones that depends in you. This is why when they need, one of them needs 6 hours Hitbodedut, it's great, but you, 6 hours will not going to affect. Because by 6 hours Hitbodedut, you're going to save one of the people that depends in you. And all of us, we're general souls. We're general, we're included inside of ourselves, a lot of other people that connected to us. It can be that for you it's only 15 or 17. It can be that for you it's 25 or 35. It can be that for your rabbi it's going to be 1,000. It can be that it's 100. It can be that Rav Shalom, like that he said, the suffering of all of the world is on his shoulders. Like that he said that once. So we need to believe in that and to know. You're praying to have children and still you don't have children. You need to know for sure that there is only one reason for that. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want just to give you children. Just that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to save through your prayers thousands of other people. Thousands of other people. And with your prayer, you're doing that. You just need to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how can you achieve things? And it's not depends in you. It's not because that you're holy. It's not because, it's just, this is how Hashem made, like we said before. The fact that you give parnasah to someone, it doesn't mean that you're so important and I don't know what. It just means that this is how that Hashem made it to be. That you're going to receive the parnasah from someone and you're going to have the ability to give it to another one and he's going to give it to a third person, and it just happens like that. It can be that you're in charge of a certain amounts of souls that depends in you, and also you depend in someone. Someone also, you see that. You have a leader, you have someone that runs your life. You have things inside of your life that you cannot have them if not that someone going to hand them to you. This is the righteous man, this is the tzaddik. All of Am Yisrael are receiving one from each other, one from each other. All of the movements, all of the chiyut, the life that we find in ourselves, it's coming from that righteous man. It's coming from him. V'ikar hitavut hanefesh, and the main way of creating the soul of the man, הוא על ידי ההשתוקקות והכיסופין. It's by that desiring, that will של איש ישראל אחר השם יתברך, of an Israeli man after Hashem יתברך. Like we talked about Elisha Navi, that Elisha Navi and Eliyahu, they went together, and Eliyahu Navi is rejecting Elisha and he's telling him, go away, you cannot keep on walking with me. And Elisha is saying to him, no, wherever you're going to go, I'm going with you. And they're going to another place, and Eliyahu Navi telling him, this is it, you cannot come with me any longer. And Elisha is saying to him, no, I'm not leaving you, I'm always going to walk with you. And in the end, he's receiving twice as many than his rabbi. He's receiving the neshama of his rabbi. And I asked Rav Shalom on that, and he proved that. He told me that I was right. I asked him if to receive twice as many than your rabbi, what it means. To have 2 times than your rabbi, what it means. So I asked the Rav if it's true that actually your rabbi is going to be with you from now on. Always going to be with you. This is how you have 2. You have yourself and you have your rabbi. Like that he's got Rav Lebovich all of the time. He said 3 righteous people are never leave me. Eliyahu Navi, Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, and Rabbi Zev Lebovich. They're always with him. His rabbis are always walking with him. He's got a question, and Rav Lebovich is answering his questions. He can ask, he's talking to them, mamash. Now, he received that. He got that gift. He can talk to him now. It's not a problem. He can say that it's not right, but it is. The truth is that it is. That he's saying, Shamati, Kibalti, I received it from the place that I received it from. He can say he can hide it in a lot of ways, but actually, bottom line, he's got conversation with those righteous people all of the time, all of the time, all of the time. So if really Rav Shalom promised that once, he said, everyone that's gonna be with me in this world, you're gonna be with me in the world to come. Means everyone that's gonna support the Mosdot, the institutes of Chut Shel Chesed, Yeshiva, gonna donate, gonna help, and especially for sure the Avrechim, students that are going and trying and distributing and talking, convincing people and trying to build their lives. I remember a lot of times that we had difficulties, and my wife, she told me, we need to move, let's go. I told her we can move, it's not a problem to move, but forget from Shlom Bayit, forget from educating our kids, like we forget all of the of tshuva process that we're in, forget it all. We don't have no guarantee to carry that with us, to take that luggage with us also, to pack those wisdoms with us and to walk with it. It's something that Rav is giving to us. Rav is giving us Shlom Bayit. Rav is giving us hope. Rav gives us Hitbodedut. People that leave this yeshiva after 1, 2, 3 weeks, I don't know if they're able to keep on doing 1 hour Hitbodedut a day. It's almost impossible. Almost impossible. From my experience, when I saw people that left that yeshiva, almost everyone dropped 1 hour Hitbodedut a day. It's not a secret that even outside in Breslev, almost you cannot find people that are doing 1 hour every day. This is something that Rav Shalom is talking about. This is something that Rav Shalom gave us. I told you I heard a very important rabbi in Uman talking, a huge class, over 200 people sits in that class, and he's talking to them about 1 or 2 minutes Hitbodedut. And I was holding my head. Why he's not talking about 1 hour? They're already sitting here. You can talk about 1 hour. Why are you talking about 1 minute Hitbodedut? It's so good, it's so important. You're right, it's all good, it's very important. 1 minute of Hitbodedut, perfect. But now they're here, they're in Uman. You can talk about 1 hour because he's not holding 1 hour. This is the only answer. Why he's not talking about it? Because it's not his inner point. It's not his light. It's not his light to talk. For Rav Shalom to do 1 hour Hitbodedut, it's b'diavad. It's only if you could, mamash, 1 hour, it's totally diavad. Mamash, you didn't have time that day and you made only 1 hour. You do 1 hour. Who can complete his Hitbodedut in 1 hour? You have to judge yourself on everything that you've done from yesterday until today. Let's say that you made a huge discount and you finished it with half an hour. Great, wonderful. This is your level. Great, you finished with half an hour. Now what you're going to do? You have another half an hour. On what you're going to pray, you have to have 1 subject minimum that you're praying on. All right, so you made on Kedushat Abrit Shmirat HaEnaim, you made half an hour. Great. Now what? You haven't said thank you to Hashem Yitbarach on nothing. You haven't prayed on your family. You haven't prayed on Am Yisrael. You haven't prayed on your things, on all the things that you need to pray on. You haven't asked for nothing. You haven't said thank you, nothing. So how can you finish your Hitbodedut in 1 hour? So actually you cannot. And talk to someone outside, tell him 1 hour, he's getting nauseous, he doesn't know what to do with himself. 1 hour to talk to Hashem, where I'm going to find the words, where I'm going to find diburim. What are you doing 1 hour, half an hour? Someone called me and my wife answered, and she told him he cannot answer, he's doing Hitbodedut. So he asked her, when should I call later? So she told him in 4.5 hours. So he realized that I'm in the middle of 6 hours Hitbodedut. And when we talked, so he told me, you don't know what happened to me when your wife told me to call in 4.5 hours, and I realized that you're doing 6 hours. I told him, why? We're doing once in a while, what's the problem? So he said, no, I just called you immediately after that I finished half an hour Hitbodedut. And I felt so good with myself that I made 30 minutes Hitbodedut. And then I saw that you're already 1.5 hours inside and you're going to finish only in 4.5 hours. And he said, I felt so horrible with myself. This is something that you receive from your rabbi. I told you that when Rav told us first time to do 18 hours Hitbodedut in Purim, 6 hours in the first day, second day, third day, every day 6 hours. If you're going to check it, it comes to be 18. You need to check it. I need to. It's 18, don't worry. Count on me. I checked it. So, when I finished my 18 hours Hitbodedut in the first time, I felt so horrible with myself, like I ruined the world, like I destroyed the world, mamash. And one of the 6 hours was that I was just praying on Rav Shalom. I was doing 6 hours complete on him. And I felt like I was disgracing the concept of Hitbodedut. And there is no logic, you cannot explain it. I wasn't doing nothing bad. Perfect. 6 hours I was praying on one thing, 6 hours I was doing on something else. Third one I was praying on Rav Shalom, 6 hours Hitbodedut. And everyone would love to have that merit, to do 18 hours Hitbodedut, and especially 6 on a Rav. Oh, it's perfect. There's something better than that. There is no. I felt disgrace. I felt horrible, worthless, the lowest scum in the world. I didn't know how to save myself from that horrible feeling that I had. And then I remembered that Rabbeinu is writing in Likutei Moharan that when you connect yourself, how you gonna know if you connected yourself to a real righteous man? If when you're getting closer to him, you become to be humble. You realize, who am I? So I made 6 hours Hitbodedut. Rav Shalom said, you can even sometimes reach the level of your rabbi, but there is a huge difference between you and him. Means that Harav is doing 6 hours Hitbodedut and you're also going to do 6 hours Hitbodedut. Harav is giving 5 classes a week and you're also going to give 5 classes a week. Harav is distributing books and you're also going to do that. So what's the huge difference between you and him? Sometimes you can reach his level, but there is still a huge difference. That your light, you're receiving it from him, and his light belongs to him. Korach, when he came to Moshe Rabbeinu and he's telling him, look, all of Am Yisrael are all holy. He was right, they were all holy. He just forgot that they're holy because of Moshe Rabbeinu. When Moshe Rabbeinu is going away, there is no holiness. Am Yisrael are going down. You're holy also, exactly in the level of Rav Shalom. No different because of Rav Shalom. Rav is giving you that light. This is the difference. It's a huge difference. It's crazy different. It means that you're nothing. When Eliyahu Navi went up to heaven and Elisha Navi came back, so all of the ones, the students, they were prophets, the students, the Bnei Nevi'im, they lost the power of prophecy because they didn't thought that the power of prophecy, they received it from Eliyahu Navi. They told Elisha, your rabbi is going away today. You know that your rabbi, and they said, your rabbi. Because of that they thought that he was his rabbi, Elisha's rabbi, not their own rabbi. This is why when Eliyahu Navi went to heaven, so Elisha received twice as many, and they lost it all. Because they couldn't grab that concept that there is someone that is better than them. There is someone that is better than us. There is. There is someone that is better than me. There is someone that my life depends in him. There is someone that without him I cannot live. There is someone that without him I will never gonna have shalom bayit. My kids will never gonna go in the right path without that man. There is someone like that. And I need to accept it. I need to live it. I need to love it. I need to mamash accept it and to be happy that Borei Olam gave me that man, that with him I can live, I can have shalom bayit, I can get married, I can build a house, I can have a kosher life. My kids also going to walk in that path, Bezrat Hashem. But I need to be happy. Instead of being arrogant and said that I'm not the one that brought that wonderful thing into my life, that arrogant just going to reject that wonderful thing out from your life if you're just going to keep on working on being that righteous man. That Rav Shalom said that this is the biggest Yetzer Hara of them all, that a man decide that he going to be the righteous man, that I want to be a tzaddik. It's the biggest Yetzer Hara of them all. There is Moshe Rabbeinu, what you need to replace him? Why let him live? What do you want from him? He's alive. He's good, doing a wonderful job. Why you need to be Moshe Rabbeinu? Why you need to replace him? You have someone that gives you all of the wonderful things. You just need to say thank you. What's the problem? The man, he wants to be the one and that everyone going to follow him and everyone going to... All wrong. By that you're uprooting yourself from source of Kedusha. You're taking yourself away from the Kedusha. Like the Torah, like the Kedusha we said always, the Torah is saying they have the nature of the water that goes down to a low place. When you're humble, you can receive. And if you're going to receive, you can receive more and more and more. And you can come to places that today you don't imagine that they exist. in the highest prayers that you have today, it will not even going to be the bottom of your prayers in 2 years where you're going to hold. If you're just going to work on humility. And humiliate yourself in the field daily to remind yourself, who am I? Where am I coming from? What I was doing in my old life? How I was spending my life? When I was working with my wisdom, where it took me to. And now that Baruch Hashem, I'm using other people's wisdoms, the wisdom of Rav Shalom, the wisdom of Rabbi Nachman of Breslev. Now Baruch Hashem, where it took me to. What changed my life? Myself, I changed my life, or someone else changed my life? I saved myself, or someone else saved me? You cannot complete that Hitbodedut in 1 hour a day. I'm sorry to disappoint you. You have to have a few hours for that. To reach to that point that really you're talking from the bottom of your heart, that you're sharing, that you're talking, you need to be relaxed in the field. You need to have time in the field. You have to come to enter to the field without a watch in your hand. Not checking, it's already finished 1 hour. No, you need to go. Go to look for Hashem Yitbarach. Going to look for Hashem, entering to the field, looking for Hashem. Hashem, where are you? Where are you hiding, Hashem? Let me see you, let me recognize you. After you're fulfilling all of your obligation, you made tshuva, you completed that, you made your half an hour, now you know that you have 1 hour, 1 hour and a half to talk to Hashem Yitbarach. You go into the field, into the deep, deep places that there's no one over there, and you're talking to Hashem Yitbarach, and you see that it's not working for you in the day, go in the night. You see that the night is not good for you, go in the mornings. Check, find your time. The good time that you're going to feel comfortable. Field, you're afraid in the field, do it in your house. It's not easy for you in the house, do it in Ben Yehuda Street. Check yourself. Everyone have his place of doing Hitbodedut. You need to check yourself. One for him, the backyard, one for him, the porch, one for him, the bus is the best place. Can close his eyes. Wonderful. I remember once I took a bus to drive to Bnei Brak. I had an amazing Hitbodedut on the way, on the bus. I closed my eyes, and I had an amazing Hitbodedut. Remember that. Sometimes you can find yourself that mamash, you're attaching yourself. Hashem is helping you. Hashem is connecting you. Hashem is opening. This is why it's so important that it kashrut in the beginning. Bonding myself in the Hitbodedut. Me, myself, just to share with you. When I'm saying I'm attaching myself to all of the righteous people in this generation, I'm saying especially to Rav Shalom Arush. I'm mentioning his name. When I'm saying to all of when we're saying to all of the righteous people that passed away, we're saying mainly to Rabbi Nachman of Breslev. Why only Rabbi Nachman of Breslev? Why? If you also connected very much, very strongly to another righteous man that mamash changed your life, that he is part of your soul, connect yourself to him also. You can mention Rabbi Natan, you can say Hachida, Baal HaSulam, the Rabbi Milubavitch, whoever, Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, you can mention. I saw Rav Shalom whispering Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, especially Rabbi Mori, Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, in the kashrut that he's doing in Friday night. A lot of time he's whispering Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich. He's not saying that out loud because it's not Hanhaga that he wants us to learn also to connect ourselves to Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich. But if Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, he is your rabbi, so you should. If now you're reading books of Baal Shem Tov and mamash, you saw Rav Pinchas Mikuritz, and it become to be part of your tshuva now. So connect yourself to Rav Pinchas Mikuritz, to Baal Shem Tov. It's allowed. Light candles to those souls of those righteous people. You're going to see that it's going to come back to you. Suddenly in the Hitbodeduyot, you're going to meet those righteous people inside of your words. We're not talking about spiritual illusions that you're going to see the Baal Shem Tov walking in Yar Sanhedria. We're talking that you're going to find those points of a Baal Shem Tov inside of yourself. That you also have something common with a Baal Shem Tov. I was very brazen to say that once to Rav Shalom, but I remember that once Rav was driving and I jumped into his car. Also a brazen thing, not on that I wanted to say, but also. But we went down on Shmuel Hanavi Street and I told him, you know Rav, you and me were very much alike. Even that you are righteous and I am not. And I told him that, even you, that you're a very holy man, you're a righteous man, and I'm not, but still we have a lot of things in common. And this is the time that he told him that he told me that we're coming from that our neshama is coming from one place, and that we're very attached. And then he said that he pulled me with his prayers, that I told you that he pulled me with his prayers, and I fell into a jar of honey. So, but if I wouldn't have that courage to come to him, to tell him, like one of the Avrechim told me that he came to Harav Shalom and he told him before that Harav went to United States, so Harav was given a shiur on the wheel. So one of the friends from the class came to Harav Shalom and told him, Harav, I want something. I want that you will not gonna go. This is what I want. I want you not gonna go. I want you to stay with us. Those are things that connect you with Harav, that connects you. That you come to Harav and telling him, I came to Harav once, I told him, Harav, I love you. He told me, you're very lucky that you love me. There are people that live because of me, that they're breathing, he said, breathing because of me, and they don't love me. He's got them married that they're gonna live. They're living only because of him, and they don't love him. They feel like no, it's not for me, that book, Garden of Peace, it's not for me. No, I need to be a Sfaradi, the wife needs to honor her husband. All of those crazy ideas. Well, Rabbi Isai, it's time. It's time to take all of that Torah and to keep it.
Amen.